We are one day from seeing real NFL action. But on today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about Cam Ward before his season gets off to a start for the Tennessee Titans. Is Cam Ward next in line for a great rookie season after the last two seasons of seeing great play from rookies? Y'all know we going to talk about it, break it all down, but you got to hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, and I'm holding it down on another daily episode. So if y'all tuned in, locked in, and ready to talk football, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Now, we got a lot of things going on, a lot of different storylines entering this NFL season, and one of the interesting ones is Cam Ward. Nobody's really been talking about my man's like that. We heard a lot about Jackson Dart. We heard a lot about the quarterbacks from years past that was in the last draft that came out. Your Caleb Williams, your Jaden Daniels, your Bo Nix, et cetera, and a lot of different things about the Dallas Cowboys, But nobody has really had a lot of things to say about Cam Ward. Could very well be a good thing for him, but for a number one overall pick, it's been kind of silent for my man's, but that does not mean that he still does not have to go out there and play good football. Now, Cam Ward, we know he came out in this year's draft, and that included a class of different quarterbacks, like Tyler Shough, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Darts, and a couple more other names that were thrown out there as well. But the question is will we see Cam Ward have a great rookie season? Now, if you look at the Tennessee Titans, they're trying to work their way through some things. Me personally, I'm still trying to see what the coach and Coach Brian Callahan has in store for us. But I do know that last year with Will Levis as his quarterback, he gave his team many opportunities to win football games. It's just that my man's Will Levis lost his top and he literally threw away games. Literally threw away games. And that started off with the first game of the season versus the Chicago Bears. You know what I'm saying? They go up a couple touchdowns and then he just completely craps it away. Things get tight in the fourth quarter. They're in the end zone. You could just settle for the 3 points. He throws it away. Or he makes some bonehead mistakes and fumble the ball. But now insert Cam Ward, a guy who looked really, really comfortable throughout his short time in preseason. Now, we know that preseason we have to take with a grain of salt. We got to think about, how vanilla things are, how coaches are really just trying to get reps. You know what I'm saying? There's not really much of a game plan put in place in preseason for teams, for themselves and the teams that they're going to be facing off against. But I believe that Cam Ward is in line to have a solid rookie season. How good that rookie season will be, ultimately, is going to be up to him. Because in years past, we've seen guys like CJ Stroud come out, become offensive rookie of the year, take the Houston Texans to the playoffs and win a playoff game in the wild card round. And just last year, we seen Jaden Daniels come out, look really, really good. Me personally, I want to see Jaden Daniels put it on wax for another season before I make any proclamations about how his career is going to pan out. But Jaden Daniels with the Washington Commanders took them all the way to the NFC Championship game. Did not win the division, but took them to the NFC Championship game and had those guys looking like they were ready, or at least look like that now that the Washington Commanders are ready to make a Super Bowl run. And that's what teams really like to position themselves to do. On that rookie contract, really bolster up their teams and take advantage of how much money a rookie quarterback is making compared to when that said good quarterback signs that second contract that makes things a little bit more challenging. And one thing that some people have talked about it here and there, but Bo Nix also had a great rookie season as well. You know what I'm saying? With the Denver Broncos in a tough AFC West division. And Bo Nix his numbers comparable to the guys that were selected before him in Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. He looked really, really good in regards to the numbers and things that he did on the actual football field. There's a number of things we can throw in and caveats that we could throw in for each and every individual. But at the end of the day, when you line up the numbers and when you look at the win and the loss column, Bo Nix was right up in there. Now, one thing that has been crazy to me, and it's like, you can call me a homer, it is what it is, but a lot of people are downplaying Caleb Williams' rookie season as well. Me personally, it wasn't the best. I will give the nod to Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels for having better seasons as team success wise. But again, when you compare the numbers and let us know what you see, Caleb Williams was not too far off from having a season like a Bo Nix, not too far from having a season like Jaden Daniels. If it wasn't for a couple coaching blunders or a bunch of dumb assery that went on in Chicago that was surrounding Caleb Williams, we probably would have seen better results. The Chicago Bears coming out of their bye week were 4-2, and they left London, and that's where they left their soul. Yeah, they came back, Hail Mary play happened, and it was all hell broke loose. The coach ultimately gets fired. They have to they replaced their coach with the pass game coordinator, for God's sakes. The OC got fired, the coach got fired, and who was your pass game coordinator became your head coach. So through all that turmoil, still throwing 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, a lot of people were saying that it was horrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. I think that when you look at that season right there, if Jaden Daniel doesn't go off to go make the NFC Championship game, and Bo Nix doesn't, have that success with the Denver Broncos, everybody is pretty much would have been on an even playing field, if you asking me. But back to Cam Ward, I think that when you evaluate all those different things and you look at Cam Ward and what he has at his disposal, I think that the defense is solid. Not great, but solid. I think he has some offensive weapons over there. And I think that Brian Callahan has shown that he can at least game plan and give his team an opportunity to win football games. Now, what would a level of success look like for Cam Ward? Personally, I don't know. I can go ahead and have him at the top of my list for me believing that he will win offensive rookie of the year, but saying will it be the next great rookie season, he might have to knock on the door for playoffs. And for the Tennessee Titans, they play in the AFC South. You look at the Jaguars, you look at the Houston Texans, teams like that in that division, there's a chance. There's a chance for Cam Ward to make a little bit of noise early on in his career. And with the way that this young man is built, and if you've been following his track record and just kind of following up into this point, you understand that this is a guy that pretty much got it, let's just say, out the mud. He got it out the mud. He went out, started at a lower school, ultimately ended up in Miami, and then worked his way up into becoming the first overall pick in the draft. That took a lot of hard work, a lot of grit, a lot of self, evaluating on Cam Ward's part, and we'll see. Brian Callahan, he said that he has a plan, and in the article that he did with NFL.com, he has some interesting comments as well. He say, and this is not the full quote, this is part of the quote, but the quote is very, very long. So I just want to kind of keep it short here with what is being said in regards to taking care of Cam Ward and making sure that we could get the best out of him. But Coach Brian Callahan said, we're going to try to keep it, as far as volume perspective goes, something manageable where he feels confident we have enough ammunition, for lack of a better term, but still be able to have a grasp of all of it and be able to execute when he needs to. So that's the biggest key for a young quarterback, is that particular process, whether it was Joe Burrow in 2020 or Cam here to open the season in 25. I think that process remained pretty similar. So what it seems like to me, end quote, but what it really seems like to me is that when Brian Callahan worked with Joe Burrow, that was a process and that was a method to the madness per se. that Brian Callahan put out there for Joe Burrow, and that helped Joe Burrow stack up, reps and be able to come the player that he is today. Obviously, Cam Ward is not going to be Joe Burrow in his rookie season, but what the plan is to give this young fella a ton of reps, make things manageable, not try to overload him while we're game planning, because we want to put him in the best position to succeed as possible. I think that right now the Tennessee Titans may sit at third or fourth in that AFC South. It's just some challenges down there for those guys. There's some challenges down there for those guys. They might be around at third and fourth right now, considering Indianapolis, considering Jacksonville, considering Houston. But hey, I seen a lot of things happen in this damn league. I never thought that I'd see a rookie quarterback take a team, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the NFC Championship game, and like on their way there, really whoop some ass. Like the Commanders, that look, all the flaws that they had defensively and all the concerns that the Commanders had about Cliff Kingsbury and all that. Hey, they just said we finna go out here and play football, and ultimately they failed to the Eagles, who eventually became the champions. But they had a good season. So Cam Ward, the ball is in his court, and I will add on this before we get up out of here: be on the lookout for Jackson Dart later in the season. Just be on the lookout for Jackson Dart later in the season. I know that the Giants, they're going to run with Russell Wilson right now, and I think that's a really good thing. You want to allow him to watch and learn from the sidelines. Obviously, it's a difference from watching and learning on the sidelines than actually playing and learning in the game. But I think that Jackson Dart showed some really good things for head coach Brian Daboll throughout preseason. And they're like, hey, we can utilize this athleticism. We can utilize the arm strength. And he is obviously the future. So if Russell Wilson struggles a little bit, let's say after 6-7 weeks, especially with that D line, who I think is going to be probably one of the best, bro. If you heard me speak on the Giants defensive line, you know I am a believer. I'm a believer in that defensive line. They're going to make it hard for some teams. I'm telling you, if your offensive line ain't right, if you're not out here bringing extra help, they are going to wreck games. That's just my belief in it. And if the results are not reflecting, the Giants can pivot. So I expect to see Jackson Dart later in this season, unless Russell Wilson just come out firing and maintain that fire. Because last year we seen Russell Wilson go out there and perform with the Pittsburgh Steelers, started off on a high note once he came in for Justin Fields, but then he kind of teetered off a little bit as the season waned on. I don't know why they didn't move off of him, but that was their decision. But I would expect that if he starts to teeter off, Brian Daboll gonna make that change, and Jackson Dart will be on there. So be on the lookout for that. But that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning into another episode. Before y'all get up out of here, go ahead and give me your feedback, thoughts, and everything about today's episode. Where do you see Cam Ward ending his season? Is it going to be a season where we're like, okay, yes, Tennessee Titans, y'all got some money on. Now it's time to go spend some money on and continue to improve this team? Or do you expect him to be mid? Keep it real with me. Let me know what your expectations are. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. I always love football. Y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace out, y'all.
This has been a presentation